couple more presentations. This next one from Max Mooij, Manager of International Business Development at Mobility Label. Max, really great to have you with us. Looking forward to
Very happy to be here.
Terrific. Sorry, maybe a slight delay there. I'm going to hand over to you now, Max, to hear more about your great work.
Thank you very much, Finlay. Really happy to be with you from a very wet Utrecht at the moment. It's pouring rain, cats and dogs. Not the best weather to be cycling, but hey, we'll do it anyway. Let's go Dutch. Have our commutes active, sustainable, and especially multimodal. A quick word about me. I'm Max Mooij. I'm a very keen cyclist myself. I'm a practice what you preach kind of guy. I haven't owned a car in 6 years by now, so doing it the right way, I think. I used to manage a program called Cycle Friendly Employer Certification, which is done by by Cycling UK at your end, and I've been with Mobility Label for 4 years as well. And like I said, multimodal commutes. That is something that you're going to be hearing more of the upcoming 15 minutes. We can go to the next one, please. We really believe in purpose, in the sense of why do people get on a journey? Are they cycling to school? Are they doing the groceries? Are they going to sports or cycling to work? And why is that important for us? Because you pick out the purpose. For instance, if you see those kids going to school, you really want to have great infrastructure for them in place so they can travel easily, safely to their schools, and the same thing applies to going to sports and commutes. Next one, please. Well, here we are already, the commuters. Why is commuting such an important thing for us Dutchies? In the sense of it's an everyday thing, isn't it? And 16% of all traffic adds up to people traveling to and from work. And yes, also in the Netherlands, many people drive their cars to work. And for that reason, we have had a national campaign on getting more people on bikes for the past 2 years. And the very important thing is that we've got a regional approach in place, and we have had that approach in place for the past 5-6 years. And employers are a very important group of focus, a very important focus group on this regional approach. Why is that? Next, please. Why is that? Because, I don't think the Netherlands are in the news very often, but in the Netherlands we have loads of problems with traffic jams as well. Actually, traffic has been worse since the pandemic. More cars have been on the roads than ever before, and queues have been longer than basically ever before as well. Additionally, the Netherlands hasn't been scoring too well in the view of Brussels when it comes to CO2 emissions, and so that's quite an important thing. And then there's a war on talent going on as well, and making employers think about, okay, how can we keep our people fit, and active travel, sustainable commutes is really an important way of adding to that goal. And obviously, cost. I mean, if you ride your bike to work, that's going to save everyone money, both the employer and the employee. And also a big thing here in the Netherlands as well is new legislation coming into place with what we call a normative arrangement, and that's got a big impact on things like CO2 emissions, obviously ESG, in this case Scope 3 and CSRD. Those are very important year over year as well. Next, please. How do we do that? How do we go about getting more people on bikes, or especially in these multimodal ways of getting to work? Like I said, we've had a history of having regional programs in place. If you look at, for instance, the metropolitan region of Amsterdam, or basically, I would say every province in Utrecht in the Netherlands have had a program in place, an organization in place with their very own consultants, and their very thing of doing is just consult employers, big and small, on how to make commutes more active and more sustainable. That's all funded by our, what we call the Ministry of Infrastructure and Water Management. In England, you would call that Department for Transport, and they fund this consultancy. Every employer interested, they can have a 40-hour consultancy on, like I said, on making your commutes more sustainable and more active, because that's actually the number one motivator for organizations here in the Netherlands to really push on making commutes more attractive, more active. And so what do they discuss in these consultations? It's like, okay, how can we motivate? How can we communicate about getting people on bikes, or travel differently from just getting in your car? They will do activation, like trial weeks, like trial months even, on e-bikes and speed pedelecs, to just have people experience how it is to be on a speed pedelec instead of being stuck in traffic in your car. They focus really on infrastructure and service being provided by the employer as well. Obviously, parking facilities are a major issue. I mean, if you at many sites here in Holland, parking really is an issue, really is a problem, because space is limited, and so that's always a big focus point as well. And what I think is really cool is they try and have employers on different industrial sites, for instance, to be cooperating among themselves, but also with local authorities, talking about, okay, well, we really want to have our people be on bikes to work, or being on the bus instead of driving their cars. And then there will be a big discussion on, okay, how can we help putting the right infrastructure in place, and how can we, for instance, put in new bus lines so actually people can travel differently than driving their cars. So Yeah, so that's really interesting. And we mobility label, I may say, we are at the very heart of it all, because how do these consultations start? And if you put on the next, please. That's where we get in, because we have several tools for this purpose, but our main one is mobility analyst. And so basically, when a consultancy is started with an employer, we receive a data set of the employer, mostly by HR, and so the data is provided. And with data, I mean normally is where people live and where they work. If more data is available, for instance, if people are working full time or part time, or if organizations already know how people are traveling at the very moment, that already adds to the dashboard to be used later on, which you see here. So basically, what we offer is insights on your potentials. So if you take it to the next, please. You can actually see, okay, well, if we really push, for instance, active travel to 10, 15 kilometers, you can actually see, hey, how many people could actually be on the bike? Or the same goes for public transport. And the very good thing is about, like I said, the multimodal way of traveling to work is, if you, for instance, if you know here in Holland, 50% of everyone traveling by train will get to the train station by bicycle. So that helps people to have quick and easy commutes. Looking at myself, I live in Haarlem, which is just west of Amsterdam, and it will take me 10 minutes to on the bike to get to the bus station, to the train station, and just park it dry and closed, and I'll pick it up later on this evening. So that multimodal way, and it really helps people to get to their work in a good way. What I think is really interesting for you guys is we do this in for what I just showed you is for a single employer. We also always do the scans for a single employer, but since many of our principals are regional or provincial authorities, we also offer a regional perspective on this data, because if you aggregate data from different employers, you can actually see what that means to, for instance, a certain stretch of motorway. And if you can actually see, for instance, if you're planning a big roadworks, for instance, next year, you can actually see, okay, well, I need to be talking to employer X, Y, and Z, because their people are using this kind of stretch of motorway for such a large scale. So you need to be offering alternatives. You need to be offering public transport, or a good cycling roads for people to actually have an alternative to be stuck in traffic. So that's a really key feature that we offer to cities here in the Netherlands, but also in Germany, like Munich, and we are working on this in Belgium as well. So this is something we could offer in the UK as well, no problem. So that pretty much brings me to, if you take me to the final slide, to the end of my presentation. And can you put on the final slide, please? And yeah, that's me. And if there's any interest, you can actually see the demo on our website. That's available, and that's me and my contact details. No problem.
Great,
Well,
thank you.
For now, thank you for having me, and hope to be hearing from you, Finley.
Sounds fabulous. Max, thank you ever so much. I would love to ask you questions. Unfortunately, we've got to move on to the next session, but by all means, jump over to get in touch with Max if you want to hear more.